Hey everyone, Andy here from Andy's Film Shack, and I just want to do this quick video to talk about the films I have watched over the last few weeks or so. I actually wanted to do a video last Sunday, but I never got round, so well, I'll do one today basically. Okay, I'll just crack on, and hopefully I'm not going to keep it for too long, guys, and you'll enjoy the video. Okay. First off, one of the first movies I watched over the last couple of weeks was the Blu-ray version of Hot Fuzz, which I enjoyed quite a lot. Cannot give the movie top marks, but it's probably not quite far off. It's for me, it's a really good movie. I actually had seen it about 2-3 times before. I had it already in my collection on HD DVD. But recently I decided to double dip and get it on the Blu-ray, and obviously kind of had to rewatch it again. And yeah, absolutely fantastic. The two kind of main stars, Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, plays two coppers in this movie. And basically the story is kind of a little bit bizarre. It's kind of like half kind of superhero movie. It's not really like superhero movie, but it's kind of, you know, got that kind of little theme to it. But basically, Simon Pegg plays a Met Police copper based in London, and he gets transferred out for a bizarre reason out to some kind of small countryside place in England, and he's not impressed with it, but he kind of, you know, had to just go because he has no choice. Basically, the commanding staff just, you know, sends him over. And after a little while he's been in that place, he starts realising that there's, you know, some bizarre stuff going on and something's not quite right about the place. And he starts kind of, you know, investigate what's really going on, and it basically transpires at one point that the local kind of authorities basically trying to run something along the lines like kind of like a new world order on kind of like miniature scale, and, you know, control the place and have it, you know, like all, you know, basically very high standards and stuff like that and whatnot. I don't want to just kind of tell you too much about the movies I'm going to talk about in a case of use of spoilers away, but it's definitely a really good movie. And fantastic, you know, acting, fantastic directing, like all the kind of the overall presentation of the movie. The video quality on Blu-ray is fantastic, so is the sound quality. If you have kind of a dedicated kind of like 5.1 or 7.1 sound system, then you know, this soundtrack actually is awesome on a kind of decent home cinema system. So yeah, basically a fantastic film, enjoyed it, and really would recommend to anyone to check it out if you haven't seen it. Next one I have here is Blu-ray version of Hellboy 2: The Golden Army. One of the kind of superhero movies. I had seen the first Hellboy probably, I can't remember, many years ago when it came out. And the first one was kind of okay. This one here I think was a little bit better than the first one, but for me it kind of didn't work all the way. For me, I would say it was kind of between being average and good. So there's nothing particularly wrong with it, but it just kind of didn't tick all the boxes for me, even being superhero movie, because, you know, when it comes to superhero movies, you cannot expect maybe, you know, just something mind blowing and you know, some incredible story or something, you know, because superhero movies, they are what they are, you know, and they just kind of for fun basically, at least for me. But, you know, it was enjoyable, and if you haven't seen it, then, you know, definitely worth checking it out. Hellboy 2: The Golden Army, again on Blu-ray, and picture and sound quality on this one was again really good, so can't grudge about that. Okay. The next one I have here is again another Blu-ray, and that's Serenity. I had it in my collection already before, and I have seen it before, but again I had to rewatch it recently because I got it on Blu-ray, and I quite enjoyed it. It's kind of like sci-fi / superhero movie, but I did enjoy it, but it feels like I'm missing something there. And the reason I might be missing something there, because there is TV kind of series or TV show called Firefly. It was ever only made kind of like one season as far as I know, but that my understanding is that they made Firefly, and then after that they made this one here kind of as a standalone film, but still I think it's kind of connected to the TV show, and maybe because of that it kind of, you know, everything doesn't fall in place for me. And if that's the case, guys, if you have seen Firefly and have seen this, and you know, if there is kind of like a link maybe I'm missing between two, then let me know and I'll definitely get Firefly and watch that one as well. In fact, Firefly has been on my list, to buy list, for quite a long time, but somehow I haven't gotten around so far to get it. But picture and sound quality is again pretty decent on this, so no particular grudges there on Blu-ray. But yeah, guys, about Firefly, yeah, let me know if, you know, there is some connection. Okay, cheers. Okay, the next one is maybe a little bit blast from the past, not so much for the movie itself, but for the format, because it was Hulk on HD DVD. I don't want to go really much in format, but if you guys were there at the very beginning when the HD kind of format war kicked off and there was HD DVD versus Blu-ray, then you maybe remember what happened. But in my opinion, HD DVD was technically superior format to Blu-ray. It had its limitations, but then when before they kind of lost the battle, there was some new stuff coming in basically, and they were, you know, working on the next spec, and it would have been kind of Blu-ray equivalent spec storage wise. That's what I really kind of meant. Otherwise it's everything else bar the storage. It was a little bit less storage than Blu-ray, but even then, in my opinion, it was quite a fantastic format, but it obviously didn't work out. But anyway, guys, that's not that's not what this video is about, and I might actually do kind of a video where I'm just going to talk about these two formats and kind of sink myself in memories. Anyway, so I watched Hulk as well. That's another superhero movie I had. I had seen it before, and I quite enjoyed it. For me, it kind of feels a little bit dark. You know, it's kind of like moody and dark. If you don't like superhero movies, then probably for you it's not going to do much, and you'll probably find it average film at best. But for me, I like superhero movies, and well, most of the times, and I think this is a great film for what it is. And story-wise, kind of, there's not much to tell. You know, it's basically a guy turns green and, you know, goes angry and smashes stuff. But, you know, hey, it's good fun. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about technical specs like, you know, picture quality and sound quality, because there's the chance you're going to pick this up, you know, instead of Blu-ray. So it is what it is. But yeah, I enjoyed it. So if you haven't seen Hulk, maybe check it out. I think I actually have seen the next installment, which I think was it Incredible Hulk or The Incredible Hulk? And that was a little bit disappointing. That was really, even for me, that was quite average. But this is definitely fairly decent. Okay, the next one I have here that I watched recently is, or rewatched again, is the Blu-ray version of Rio. Haven't seen the second one actually, but the first one enjoyed a lot. I think it's a great movie, and on Blu-ray again, you know, picture and sound quality is fantastic. And the story is basically this bluebird there, and he gets snatched up by like, I think it's meant to be like some Amazon in Brazil, Amazon rainforest or something like that. He gets snatched up by some poachers basically, and he ends up being in America. They you know, on the black market, he gets, you know, sold to America. And I think that the story goes that he's on a truck being delivered somewhere, and, you know, the truck kind of slides in the road in the winter, and he falls out, and a girl picks him up, and he grows up with a girl. And then the story goes that they have to go back to Brazil because there is also a female bluebird, and allegedly they are just the only two birds from their species left, and he's have to go back to mate with her and stuff, and they got in a lot of trouble, and it's kind of nice adventure, and yeah, it's nice film. So if you like animated films, definitely, and if you haven't seen Rio, definitely check it out. It's really good film. Okay. Next one is another animated film I rewatched recently, is Puss in Boots, and this is actually a 3D Blu-ray. Sound picture quality fantastic, 3D effect fantastic on this as well. I actually went to see it in cinema when it came out with my kids, but then I got it on Blu-ray, and I have seen it several times on Blu-ray again, on 3D and just a normal 2D, and yeah, it's fantastic quality. And it's basically, if you haven't seen it, it's Puss from Shrek films, and it's kind of like a spin-off story. Basically, just Puss gets his own show, so to speak. It's actually a great adventure. It's a really enjoyable film, especially, you know, with kids and stuff like that. But even for adults, you know, I think it's fantastic. It's very likable, very kind of like light-hearted film, and it's a great adventure, definitely. So if you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. Puss in Boots. Okay. This is one of the films I picked up very recently, which you'll probably seen in my previous video, and it's Blu-ray version of Ghostbusters. Just seen this before many years ago, probably, so I kind of couldn't remember all the bits and bobs, but I rewatched it just recently, and still a fantastic film. It's kind of like, for me, it's typical 80s film, got that kind of 80s feel to it. And I think it's really good. It's not top marks for me, but it is good. It's a good film. And as for Blu-ray itself, its sound is good. It's not exceptional. Sound is good. Picture quality, again, it's kind of a little bit mixed bag. Most of the times it's good for what it is, you know, for 80s movie, you know, it's obviously older print, you know, it's not kind of recent movie, so you cannot necessarily expect it to be mind-blowing, you know, picture quality, but it was most of the times really good. Some of the occasional scenes were kind of a bit problematic, so that kind of spoiled it a bit, but on overall, I think it's pretty decent for what it is, so I cannot really grudge about that. But I don't think I need to talk about Ghostbusters. You probably all know what it is, you know. But yeah, fantastic film, love it. Okay, that's another one from my recent pickups, and it is The Exorcist. I actually watched both cuts of the film. This is the 2-disc edition, and you get in this one here, on this disc 1 you get the extended director's cut, and on this 2 you get original theatrical cut from 1973, and the director's cut I believe was done in 2000. I watched the theatrical cut first of all, and then I watched the director's cut kind of afterwards. I watched actually them back to back. It is good film. It's getting kind of rated really highly, so it should have been kind of like a 5-star show really, but for me it wasn't. It was like 4-star show, but that still means it's good film, you know. But I couldn't really just give it top marks. But it basically is kind of a story about a girl that gets possessed by devil himself or something like that, and then, you know, they get Catholic. What you call them? Oh man, I totally blanked out. Catholic priest. Sorry guys, blanked out there completely. Yeah, they got like a Catholic priest to come on and do the exorcism on the girl, and, you know, just get rid of the devil that's possessing her. And apparently I didn't actually know that there is introduction on this one here, which I don't know whether there's been in the previous releases, but there's introduction on disc 2, I think, yes, which is the original theatrical cut. There's introduction from the director, and he said that this story is actually kind of based, or that the ideas were taken from the real situation which happened back in something like the 1930s or 40s in America. So it's kind of based on sort of like real story, which I found quite interesting. As for the two cats, actually, there's nothing really that I would say that if you watch one, that you would gain so much more than watching the other one. So I watched both, and they both had kind of a few different bits, but in overall, if you are picking up one or other to watch, I don't think it will actually benefit that greatly to watch one over the other one. So if you haven't seen it, you can easily pick either up and you'll be fine probably. But yeah, if you haven't seen it, probably worth checking out. The one thing I have to say about film which are quite really annoying and stupid is when the priest comes to girl's house to kind of check on her, the mother gets him over, because she's starts kind of believing that she's possessed by devil, and she needs basically exorcist. And he comes over and he starts, goes to see girl. And the thing is, once you walk in the room, the way they make the girl look, she looks just, crazy basically. You can say straight away there's something terribly wrong with her. And then, he spends kind of like time with her, asks questions, talks about her, and then he goes to mother and says, oh, in fact, you don't need a priest, you need like a doctor. And I was like, shit, man, that is just stupid, you can straight away, tell by walking in the room that that girl is just messed up, there's something not right. She got like evil eyes and stuff like that going on, and I was like, that was the only bit in the film that I was really annoyed with. But apart from that, yeah, it was great watch. Okay, and the last one I have here for today is The Counselor. You've probably seen this from my last video where I was talking that I picked it up. Ridley Scott film, never heard anything about it, so it was absolutely blind buy for me. And you get 2 discs in this one here, and you get like a theatrical cut and the director's cut or extended cut. Watched both again back to back, and for the film itself, well, it's a tricky one. For me, I absolutely loved it. I looked up reviews afterwards, what people think about it, and most of the times it gets really, really bad write-ups. Most of people just absolutely hate it and just slag it. For me, it was fantastic. I loved it. That was my kind of show from Ridley Scott. It is mad. It is kind of mad film, but it basically, the story is that Michael Fassbender, he plays kind of a lawyer or solicitor, whatever you want to call it, and he's basically known as the Counselor, and there's no even his proper name mentioned in the film, but basically he's like, obviously a lawyer, and he decides to have a one-off kind of deal, a drug deal, run, and get involved in like a big, massive basically shipment of drugs, and make some quick money on the side. I think it was about 20 million they were talking about making, and basically everything goes terribly wrong, and there are major consequences to what happens. But I'm not going to tell you much about the film. If you haven't seen it, you really maybe need to check out, or if you have seen, maybe let me know, guys, what you thought about it. But I think it was fantastic. When I was watching it, I kind of felt that sort of like No Country for Old Men feel to it, like Coen Brothers, and I thought, what's going on there? And then I realised that the guy, I can't remember his name, is it McCarthy, I think his name is, yeah, Cormac McCarthy. He apparently wrote the book or story or script for this or whatever it is, and obviously he wrote a story for No Country for Old Men as well, and that kind of explains, there's like that kind of mood to it. I don't know if you've seen No Country for Old Men, then and if you like that one, you might enjoy this one. But it's basically, if you would ask me what sort of genre this film is, it's actually kind of like a modern day. So get my teeth back in. It's kind of like a modern day film noir. So, you know, it's kind of like gritty, really, you know, darkish, you know, film, you know, like crime. But there's some fantastic dialogue, some fantastic scenes in the film. And yeah, sorry guys, I think it is one of these. I think this is one of these films where, you know, you either like it or you hate it, and I absolutely loved it. So, but anyway, let me know if you have seen this and what your thoughts are. And if you haven't seen it, check it out and then let me know again what you think about it. Okay guys, that's it. That's all I have for today. So hopefully you enjoyed your video, hopefully you didn't get bored. I got quite a few Blu-rays on order, so I think I might be doing a video on Sunday or something like that, and I might have a pile of Blu-rays to kind of talk about I ordered. So but yeah, well, stay tuned. Thanks for watching, and see you later. Oh, by the way, before I go, actually I haven't been on YouTube yet today. Been quite busy, but I just realised I checked my phone, my email, and I think there's like some 5 new subscriptions to my channel, which is absolutely fantastic. It's obviously a brand new channel. I think they only got like three subscriptions over the last week, but now there's another 5, so I'm up to 8. You know, which is not a big deal, but for me it is a big deal because you know, I got like 5 new subscribers in one afternoon, so which is absolutely fantastic. So thank you very much, guys, and I'll catch you later.